Did you know that ancient Egyptians might have had a remedy for baldness that included the fat of lions, hippopotamuses, crocodiles, cats, and snakes? Picture this, a world where such outlandish treatments were commonplace. Let's dive into the world of ancient Egypt and uncover some of its most insane and dirty secrets. Imagine smearing the fat of various wild animals on your head in hopes of sprouting some hair. Sounds insane, right? Yet, this was a common remedy for baldness in ancient Egypt. They believed that the fats from lions, crocodiles, snakes, and even hippos held the magical cure to hair loss. The process was simple enough. They would gather the fat of these animals, often requiring dangerous hunts, and then it was carefully applied to the balding areas on the scalp. But why would they do this, you might ask? Well, hair was a sign of vitality and youth in ancient Egyptian culture. Baldness was associated with aging and was often seen as unattractive. This fat-based remedy was a desperate attempt to retain their youth and beauty. While we may find this remedy insane or dirty, it was a part of ancient Egyptian culture and medical practice. Their quest for beauty and youthfulness was so intense, they were willing to go to any lengths even if it meant smearing animal fat on their heads. Did you know that the ancient Egyptians removed the brains of the deceased through their nostrils as part of the mummification process? An odd question to ponder indeed, but such was the reality of ancient Egypt. Mummification to the ancient Egyptians was more than just a preservation technique. It was a sacred ritual, a way to ensure the deceased's journey to the afterlife was successful. The brain, interestingly, was not deemed necessary for this journey. Hence, it was extracted in a rather peculiar way. Embalmers would insert special hooked instruments up the nostril, scramble the brain to a pulp, and then draw it out. A process that, to our modern sensibilities, may seem rather gruesome if not outright insane. But why remove the brain at all? The ancient Egyptians believed the heart, not the brain, was the seat of intelligence and emotion. So while the heart was carefully preserved inside the body, the brain was deemed superfluous and discarded. The rest of the mummification process was equally meticulous. Organs were removed, bodies were cleaned and dried, and then wrapped in hundreds of yards of linen. All this to prepare the deceased for their eternal journey. In our eyes, the process may seem dirty, strange, and even a bit frightening. But to the ancient Egyptians, it was a deeply spiritual process, rich with symbolism and respect for the dead. The mummification process was an integral part of ancient Egyptian culture, even if it seems insane or dirty to us. Would you believe that human and animal waste was used as medicine in ancient Egypt? This might sound shocking, even repugnant, but it's a historical fact. Ancient Egyptian physicians were known to use a concoction of human and animal excrement for various treatments. The reasons behind this were twofold. First, it was believed that disease was caused by evil spirits, and these unsightly mixtures were thought to repel them. Second, the Egyptians observed that certain waste products had curative properties. For instance, honey and donkey dung were often mixed together to treat wounds based on the antibacterial properties of both. However, the implications of this practice were dire. The use of feces in medicine led to a plethora of infections, often complicating the health issues they were supposed to cure. It's a dirty fact that many might find hard to stomach, but it was a part of ancient Egyptian medical practice. Did you know that Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, was not actually Egyptian? Yes, you heard it right. Born into the dynasty of the Ptolemies, Cleopatra was of Greek origin, a direct descendant of Ptolemy I, who was a general of Alexander the Great. Despite her Greek heritage, Cleopatra was a true queen of the Nile. She embraced Egyptian culture, making a name for herself as the first Ptolemaic ruler to learn the Egyptian language. This was a significant break from her predecessors, who had always ruled Egypt without fully integrating into its society. Her reign was marked by sensational scandals and power struggles, contributing to her enduring legacy as an iconic figure. Cleopatra's Greek heritage and her adoption of Egyptian culture is an insane fact that adds another layer to the complex history of ancient Egypt. So next time you think about Cleopatra, remember, she was a Greek queen who ruled Egypt, adding yet another twist to her fascinating story.